So in week 3 and 4, the training session on a Monday will be another continuous session. However, instead of a swimming session, it's going to be running. And running is another type of exercise that would be great for the client to do to help improve his cardiovascular stamina. Running for, again, between 20 and 40 minutes will help to burn calories. It's going to increase the heart rate, and overall, it's going to improve our aerobic fitness levels. And the aim when running would be to try and build up either the duration of a run, so increase it from 20 minutes to 25 to 30 minutes, etc., or alternatively to increase the speed at which we run at. If the client's increasing his speed or increasing the duration, it will mean that he's working harder and for longer, but in turn, it's going to mean that he's going to see better and quicker improvements to his aerobic levels. The training session on a Wednesday will be a HIIT workout, and it will involve 5 exercises, and will require the client to work for 40 seconds and rest for 20, and then we're going to repeat the circuit 3 times. So the first exercise is wide into narrow press ups, and so the client could either do traditional press ups, or if they find this too challenging, we could perform the press ups on the knees. And so the first exercise is going to require the client to perform 5 wide press ups, and then move into 5 narrow press ups. And then we're going to repeat this for the 40 seconds. The second exercise is squats. Again, either standard squats or squat jumps. And then for a more of a challenge, the client can perform sumo squats. Or to lower the challenge, we could add a chair for assistance when performing the standard squats. The next exercise is high knees, and so running on the spot 40 seconds with high knees will get the heart rate up rapidly, and it's going to help to increase our cardio levels. The penultimate exercise is tricep dips, and tricep dips is not only going to improve one of the targets, muscular endurance, but it's also going to help to improve the core strength, as it requires you to engage your core throughout the workout. And then finally, to finish off the workout, burpees. Burpees, like the high knees, another exercise that's going to help to increase our heart rate and improve our cardiovascular stamina. And then to finish off week 3 and 4, on a Saturday, the client will participate in a fartlek training session on a treadmill. And this session will start with a warm-up set where the client will walk or slowly jog at approximately 3 to 4 miles an hour for 5 minutes. And then after this warm-up's done, they'll then run for 10 minutes at a steady but relatively quick pace at around between 5 and 6 miles an hour. And then they're going to slow it down to 4 or 5 miles an hour for another 3 minutes. Then after running for that 3 minutes, the pace will then be increased again to 7 miles an hour for another 30 seconds, so much quicker, higher intensity, before dropping it back down to 5 miles an hour for another 3 minutes. So the client will then repeat this 3-minute, 30-second interval periods for another 3 times until around 25 minutes has passed. And then once this is done, the session will have come to an end, and the client will cool down by walking or slowly jogging like the warm-up at approximately 3 to 4 miles an hour for another 5 minutes. And like we said at the start, this cool down is really important because it's going to help to reduce the risk of injury and fatigue that the client may feel after his session. So into the final 2 weeks, and the training session on a Monday, it's going to be another swim, which is one of the best exercises for this client in particular, as again it's non-weight bearing, and due to his recent injury that he suffered, this would be a more suitable, and it's going to still help to improve his cardiovascular stamina. So unlike the more continuous, relaxed session at the start, this session is going to be timed, and it's going to require the client to swim 1,500 meters in the quickest time that he possibly can. And this time will then be recorded, and the session the week after it's going to see him try and beat his previous time. And what this does is it kind of adds more fun, more of a challenge aspect into the session, and as well, the challenge obviously being to try and beat his previous time to complete the distance that he needs to cover. The training session on a Wednesday, it's going to be like another HIIT session, but this time it's called a Tabata style. And what this means is that the session will have 3 exercises, and these 3 exercises are going to be star jumps, burpees, and high knee running on the spot. So really intense heart rate raisers. And what Tabata means is that it's an intense form of HIIT training, where basically the client is going to work for 20 seconds and then rest for 10 seconds. This means that he'll do as many star jumps, many burpees, running for as long as he can for 20 seconds, and then he's going to rest for 10 seconds. And so repeating this circuit 3 to 5 times, more if he needs to, less if he finds it too challenging. It's going to be a great and effective cardio workout, and it's going to help the client to really improve his cardiovascular fitness. And then, like we said, if the client isn't tired at the end of the session, then the next week, or if he wants to carry on, do another set maybe, we're going to bump up the time to 30 seconds work and 15 seconds rest. And similar to the run, this will involve him working in a higher training zone, meaning that his heart rate will increase even more. And the intensity of the workout will lead to the client being required to work harder, but again, it's going to speed up the time it takes for improvements to be seen. So finally, the session on a Saturday, where it's going to be another fartlek session, and what it will involve is running, walking, and sprinting between different cones. So there'll be 3 cones set in a triangle shape, as we can see on the screen, and the client will be required to walk from one cone, which is the shorter distance, then run, and then finally to sprint. And then he's going to repeat this circuit 5 times, maybe, see if he can push 5 times, and then if he needs to increase it, if he wants more of a challenge, we can increase it more. And then again, this is a great variant of session that's going to help to, again, increase his heart rate and improve his cardio levels overall. And I've chosen fartlek as this final session because it can be really easily adapted by increasing or decreasing the distance of the walk, the run, the sprint. And I've also chosen it because it lasts longer than any of the other types of the continuous training, the interval training, for example. And so it's going to improve the client's cardiovascular fitness even more. And so in terms of short and long-term adaptations that the client can expect to see during his training, some of the short-term adaptations would include a heart rate increase, meaning that his heart's beating more per minute, an overall increase in stroke volume, meaning that more blood's going to be ejected from his heart per beat, meaning that more blood can then be transported around his body to his working muscles. Increased cardiac output, again meaning more blood is going to be ejected from the heart each minute, again meaning more blood can then be transported around our body to our working muscles, meaning that they're going to get more oxygen and be able to work for longer. And then similar to that, the blood flow is going to flow, the muscles are going to demand more blood, and so the blood is going to be shunted away from our digestive organs, our kidneys, our liver, and then it's going to instead be taken to our muscles where the demand for oxygen is much higher. And finally, our blood is going to become more acidic when we're exercising because of the hydrogen ions that are going to be in our blood, and these are produced as a byproduct of carbon dioxide, which is a waste product of exercise. And then finally, long-term adaptations. So after the training program is finished and if the client continues to do more training, his overall resting heart rate is going to decrease because he can work more efficiently, and then so therefore doesn't have to his heart doesn't have to beat as many times per minute. Also, an increased stroke volume at rest due to because of the decrease in resting heart rate, he's going to have a more efficient heart, and so his blood there can be more blood pumped out each beat. Also, improved circulation due to an increase in capillaries known as capillarization, and this basically means that more blood can be transported easily around our body and be taken to our muscles when we're working. A decrease in blood pressure due to our blood vessels being wider and our blood being less viscous, so it's thinner. And so this means that it can pass through our blood vessels easier and therefore reduces the pressure on the vessel walls, ultimately reducing blood pressure. As well as these, an increased blood volume due to more red blood cells in the blood, and so the muscles can be supplied with more oxygen, and at a faster rate. And the heart, the myocardium, which is the heart muscle, is going to become stronger. It's going to increase in size and strength, and this will provide a more efficient heart and a stronger heart. And then finally, blood vessels become more elastic or more pliable, and this basically means that more oxygen and glucose can be taken to our muscles at a faster rate.